Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. I just got back in from the grocery store. Tofu in hand, what we call soya chunks down in the southern Caribbean. I had a request via Twitter. Chris, can you show us how to make curried soya chunks? So in today's recipes, vegetarians, you're going to love this one. Non-vegetarians, give it a try. You're going to be quite excited by the flavors and textures and everything else that's going to be in this recipe. So let's get cooking. I do apologize in advance for the shaky camera work here. Just want to show you the little contraption I've got here. I've got here a big teacup filled with water. Just going to remove that. And I've got a plate. And below that plate, I have the tofu. And the reason why I have that sort of weight on top of the tofu is packaged in water. And what I'm trying to do is, I don't know if you guys can see it, I put that weight on there for about an hour or so just to press that tofu to remove a lot of the moisture out of it, because the whole idea behind that is once I start cooking this, by removing some of that moisture from within the tofu, it is going to allow the tofu to absorb a lot of that curry goodness that we're going to be adding to it. So that's just my little tip. I have a non-stick pan here, and I went in with about a tablespoon or so of vegetable oil. Reason why I'm using a non-stick pan is because in cooking curry I tend to use a lot of oil. I'm trying to cut back on the amount of oil I use. Low heat, as I said, and that is 1 small onion. And I've got here 4 cloves of garlic that I chopped up finely. And we're just going to leave that on that low heat because I want to bring out a ton of flavor from that. I've got here a couple sprigs of thyme. Low heat, 4 minutes. Next up, we're going to go in with some black pepper. My heat is still on low. And I'm going to go in with my curry powder. Just use your favorite curry powder. And this is a sort of a dry toasting. This is where we're going to help release all the flavors from the spices which make up that curry powder. Toast that for about 3 or 4 minutes as well on that low heat. I'm going to go in with a couple bird's eye pepper or bird's eye chili. We call it bird pepper in the Caribbean. And they're still whole because we're going to get flavor from that, but not the raw heat. If you want the raw heat, you can chop that up and put it in there. I've got here a couple scallions. And not only are we toasting the curry to get all those nice spices waking up in there, but it's also going to take out that sort of raw curry taste that you get from improperly cooked curry. I'm going to turn up my heat now to medium high, and this is where the fun begins. We're going to go in with that cubed tofu, and they're about 1/2 inch cubed. I'm using a medium firmness, so it's a medium firmness tofu. I've got here some diced tomato, and we're going to go in with some, I'm using sea salt. You can use any sort of salt that you like. And I found some frozen, a mixture of peas, carrots, and corn in my freezer. Just to add a bit more color and texture to really stretch this. And all you want to do is give that a good mix, just to incorporate all the ingredients in here. I want this to be a dry curry. However, we need some liquid in there to bring everything together, to really cook that curry and amalgamate all those flavors together. So I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of water, and you can go in with coconut milk if you want. And all we're going to do now is let that cook, no lid, medium high heat, and we just want to burn off all that liquid. The liquid was just to cook everything. So there you go, friends. It took about 5 minutes after I added the water in here for this to be done cooking. A delightful vegetarian dish. Remember to fish out the sprigs of thyme when you're done cooking, as well as these bird's eye chili or bird pepper as we call them in the Caribbean. You do not want to serve them. Just going to turn off my stove. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. Remember to click like, share the video, and give it a thumbs up. Where is that thumb? There we go. Have a good one.